What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video. And today, as you can tell from the title, we're doing what if the NFL restarted with legends. So I think that giving credit is super important. So Optic Tempers, I'm sure, spent a lot of time on this roster, making this official legends roster on PS4. There's nothing official about it. I'm just going to stop you there. But it is a legends roster with 185 legends, updated as I record this on September 10th. So big shout out to Optic Tempers for making the roster. If you guys want to do that as well on PS4, you can go ahead and download it. And then before you hop into the fantasy draft or into the franchise, you have to remember to load the roster. That's pretty important. I know a lot of you guys are going to know this, but not everyone will. So that's important to note. Also, please hit that subscribe button if you're new. We just hit 200,000 subscribers. That's so awesome. But of course, if you're not growing, you're dying. So don't let me die. Please hit that subscribe button. You can always unsubscribe later if you think I suck. It wouldn't be a crazy, thing to come to that, oh, you're like, I don't like this guy anymore, or at all. Even if you don't like me, just subscribe anyway. I don't really have a reason other than maybe you'll like it. That's like all the reason you need, I guess. Yeah, it's a great sales pitch. Subscribe maybe. No, come on, please do it. We're gonna go ahead and create the league using the active roster, and then we're gonna go ahead and launch this fantasy draft. But before that, who doesn't love to hear about shaving your balls? You got to check out Manscaped, the sponsor of today's video. This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com. My favorite, the premier, the best men's grooming brand on the planet. Manscaped is awesome, and so is the Crop Preserver. This is a ball deodorant. I mean, you use deodorant on your armpits. Why would you not use it on an even smellier part of your body? The Crop Preserver makes a ton of sense. You just use a small amount, about a quarter size, dries on contact, dries clear. And I mean, it smells great, feels great. I usually use it coming out of the shower, and like sometimes after like shaving or whatever, you feel a little bit like rough or whatever, itchy sometimes, and this even takes that completely away, I've noticed. So kind of an added bonus there, added benefit. If you go ahead and use the link in the top line of the description in the pinned comment, manscaped.com/Bengal, you can get a great discount. That's 20% off. That's 2 free gifts. And that's free shipping. It's manscaped.com/Bengal. We got our own link, and you guys got to check out the Crop Preserver, one of my favorite items that you can find on the website. Check out the perfect package, though. This will have this in there and plenty more. Thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring the video. And again, click that link in the description, manscaped.com/Bengal. So that's interesting. Interesting. So Lawrence Taylor's on here. Odell's back on the Giants. We're going to do a fantasy draft, so we're going to be able to see all these players. Jason Taylor, Dan Marino. What team should we do? I'm a Giants fan. Might as well use the Giants, I guess. It's always funny when people are like, oh, I was going to subscribe, but you like a different team than me. I'm really transfixed on subscribing here. I'm really transfixed on it. I just want them, you know? So more people watch the videos. I can make more people's days. No, it does get me money when more people watch the videos, so I want that too. I'm not going to lie. This has been off to an odd start. We're going to make it a fantasy draft as the type. And I guess go ahead and just jump on into it. Joe Judge looks like he's a serial killer. You have to watch out for him. What pick do we have, though? We shall see. It's going to be fun to see all the different legends in here. We pick at number 6 overall. And Tyreek Hill, in an area where there are all legends, goes at number 5 overall. In a roster of all legends, Tyreek Hill goes to the Cowboys. What is this, the Al Davis Raiders, where all they care about is speed? I guess so. Man, there are a lot of legends in here. A lot of good ones. Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Tom Brady is obviously still active, but Steve Young, John Elway, Michael Vick is a 97. Why? And Michael Vick was a great player. He wasn't this accurate of a passer. Like, in his Eagles days, yeah, he actually did develop a lot as a passer, even though he lost some of his crazy athleticism. I guess this is like the combo of Michael Vick, you know, at his very best through each different stage in his career. Randall Cunningham, I love. I'm not sure that we have to take a QB here. Eli Manning is a 95, and the roster creator didn't do Ole Miss. They did Mississippi College. Not the same place at all. Johnny Unitas. Warren Moon is criminally underrated. I mean, a lot of Hall of Famers in here are not, like, super high rated. Some of them rated even higher. Like Jim McMahon and Joe Namath being an 87 is quite interesting. Joe Namath is, like, the most overrated player in NFL history, along with, like, Terry Bradshaw. But, you know, Jim McMahon is rated pretty high. I guess he made the roster. I hear he can't even remember like his kid's name, so I guess he probably didn't have the capacity to make this roster. It's a shame, but you know, football is dangerous. Christian McCaffrey's in here. 99 Adrian Peterson. He is my favorite player in NFL history. That might be someone we want to take. Also, no one's going to have Superstar X Factor, by the way, because when you make the legends in here, you can't adjust their development trait in the roster creation. You can only do that within franchise. A lot of amazing running backs in here. Bo Jackson, LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, should we skip fullback? I feel like that's rude to fullbacks. Mike Allstott. That's like the only one you need to know about. He also added Franco Harris. Assume nobody else. Wide receiver Terrell Owens is the highest overall, tied with Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson. Antonio Brown got added as a legend. Randy Moss, Isaac Bruce, Anquan Bolden, Reggie Wayne. We got Steve Smith in there. Not the Giants Steve Smith, the actual good one. The Cocaine Cowboy, Michael Irvin. I don't want to go through everybody in here. I feel like that would be a little too much, but I think the point is there are a lot of great legends in here. A lot of great pass rushers and linebackers. Look at Ray Lewis. He's a murderer, allegedly. Patrick Willis murdered people on the field. Shout out to Brad Smith. Lawrence Taylor, LT. Maybe the best defensive player in NFL history. Neon Deion, Night Train Lane, The Dick. My second favorite player in NFL history, Champ Bailey. We got some fun ones in here. Ed Reed, Steve Atwater. It's fun. Sean Taylor. Who should we take, though? We have the 6th pick. Should we just take a stud quarterback? I mean, is that the move? Do we take Brett Favre, the gunslinger? I mean, his accuracy is crazy. What's his decision making? Is that a stat? 95? Nice carrying. Should we take Brett Favre? Let's take Brett Favre. Why not? Big reach there for a 99 overall player. But we'll take Brett Favre, man. That's a fun one. Brett Favre, you know, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Played till he was about 70. Fred Warner going now. How is that possible? How is Fred Warner going at this point with legends in the draft? With all these players available, the pick is Fred Warner. I mean, there's so many interesting players still available. Patrick Willis. I know I keep saying this about a lot of guys. I guess 2. Patrick Willis, also one of my favorite players of all time. I wish I could say that about LT, but didn't really watch him play. The best kicker in NFL history. Is he the pick here? Justin Tucker? Don't tell me Adam Vinatieri. Maybe the most clutch, because he played on the Patriots teams, hit some big kicks. Justin Tucker's the best kicker ever. I will not be convinced otherwise. But what position do we want to go with here? I mean, Neon Deion's still on the board. If I can get Deion Sanders and Champ Bailey, how elite would my secondary be? Deion Sanders to the Giants. There actually is a funny story with Deion Sanders and the Giants. Is that, like back when he was doing the combine interviews, as Dick Lane goes to the Colts. Nope, not what team that is. He goes to the Cowboys. The Giants were interviewing Deion Sanders at the combine, put down this huge playbook for him to learn. And he's like, what pick you got? And they're like, number 8. And he's like, oh, I'm going to be long gone by then. And just walked out of the room. Probably the biggest baller move of all time to do with the combine. Bo Jackson we could take. What other running backs are still available? I mean, a lot of good ones. Barry Sanders, probably the best running back ever. Adrian Peterson still. Maybe I'll hold out for him. A lot of really good QBs still available. I mean, we can't go wrong here. I do want Champ Bailey, though. He got drafted. Man, ain't life a bitch. Ed Reed is really fun. Could go Ed Reed. Troy Polamalu. Sean Taylor, I feel like a lot of people are going to want me to take. So maybe we'll hold out. Lawrence Taylor's still here. Let's go Lawrence Taylor. He was a really good player. I like how he's actually wearing his correct jersey number. Now, I will say that the ratings have definitely been boosted a lot. He basically just has 99 everything. But, you know, LT was an animal. You ever seen those highlights? Ask Joe Theismann how good Lawrence Taylor was. Ray Nitschke, Packers legend, going to the Patriots there. I don't really want to take offensive linemen right now. I feel like that's boring. Jonathan Ogden, I don't know if he ever played a snap at right tackle in his career. He was a left tackle. Barry Sanders. I want Adrian Peterson. When is he going to get taken? There's so many good running backs still. Could go with a wide receiver. Is Calvin Johnson still here? Oh, the great receivers are going off the board. Do we take Julio? How old is he in this roster? He's a 31-year-old Julio. I didn't know if they remade him or anything. He's still technically in his prime somehow. Maybe he won't go wide receiver right now. Shannon Sharp could go prime Gronk, although he probably wasn't remade. His overall was just edited. What do we have on the defensive line? Do we have Cortez Kennedy would be a fun one at defensive tackle. Aaron Donald is probably long gone. Mean Joe Green is here. I don't know why I mentioned Cortez Kennedy before like all the other great like defensive tackles in history. I don't even know if he's in this roster. I think Cortez Kennedy passed away recently, so rest in peace to him. Alan Page won MVP as a D tackle, and he's not even higher overall. It's a shame. He's one of the greatest D tackles ever for sure. Junior Seau, another rest in peace there, unfortunately, but he was a great player. Let's go Sean Taylor. Why not? Sean Taylor, what a great player. Another case of man, like what would have happened if he wasn't so tragically killed before his time. I mean, not that anyone being killed is ever their time, but I'm saying if he didn't pass away because he was killed, it was, you know, you get what I'm saying. Very sad. Cam Chancellor's in here. Jack Tatum, one of the biggest hitters in NFL history. Legitimately tried to kill people on the field. 99 hit power. That's what you like to see. Although, we probably should go with a running back at this point. And I know people are going to want me to take Barry Sanders or LaDainian Tomlinson or Jim Brown. Everybody's grandfather said Jim Brown was the best to ever do it. But let me tell you. If Adrian Peterson played in the 50s and he's 35... I thought he was remade. He is 35. I just drafted a 35-year-old running back. What am I doing? Oh, Big Vince going to the Patriots. That's fun. Fun to see players go to their actual team. We could still take a great young running back or receiver as well. But running back, too, with Adrian Peterson, we wanted to. Andre Johnson. Prime Andre Johnson with the Texans is one of the best receivers ever. I don't want to hear it. Andre Johnson, super underrated for his career because he played on some really bad Texans teams, but was amazing with no help at quarterback. Andre Johnson was unreal. And don't tell me Matt Schaub. Andre Johnson was unbelievable with no help. He's definitely a fun one to add. Steve Largent was probably the best receiver of the 80s. He should be a higher overall. Not that I'm critiquing everything, man. I mean, you could go through an entire lineup or roster and critique every little thing. But we're not going to be doing that. Let's go... I mean, let's go Mean Joe Green. Why not? I mean, we're building an unbelievable team. You can't really go wrong with any of these players that we're drafting. But I think Mean Joe maybe was a pick there. Jordan Gross. Doesn't look anything like him if you know what Jordan Gross looks like. Panthers legendary tackle. Devin McCourty getting a bit older. Have I taken a strong safety yet? I have not. They're going off the board kind of fast. It would be kind of cool to get Cam Chancellor back, though. What's his speed? 87? 87 speed's kind of low. Jack Tatum could be fun. Let's go with Jack Tatum, man. Welcome to the Giants. Taking him from those legendary Raiders defenses and adding him to this stud Giants team that we're building. I feel like the CPU is making some mistakes. I'm taking some normal development players. Yeah, I get that. It doesn't matter. When you have a team of all 99s, who cares about their development? Development trait, irrelevant. Now some of these top players are starting to go off the board a little bit, though. T. Sizzle's up to a 94. I will not be fooled by him and his 37-year-old ass. No way I'm going to fall for that again. I'm running out of legends here at middle linebacker. I don't think I've taken any. Can anyone play off the ball left? A lot of guys can. Keith Bullock. That's our off the ball linebacker. That's our inside backer. Keith Bullock, welcome to the squad. Definitely a lower overall than maybe you'd want, but these guys are 20 years old in these recreated rosters. So I'm going to be honest, it's not an amazing roster. It's cool that these guys are in here. And I know it takes a lot to get their college correctly and their height and weight and all that. I definitely respect that, but, like, they're all 20. Some of the colleges are wrong that I've already seen. But I think the biggest thing is that they're all 20 years old. Is a little bit whatever. And Ndamukong Suh's up to a 96. Chris Jenkins, another super underrated player in NFL history. So is Darnell Dockett, to be fair. He owns like tigers and shit. Darnell Dockett's an animal. He owns a lot of animals as well. We could go defense. Our offensive line's not fantastic. So let's boost that with Will Shields. Maybe we'll come back for Larry Allen. Is Jim Otto still here? He is. That's my center. There we go. Jim Otto. Welcome to the squad. I think Jim Otto is kind of fun because he wore number 00. As this is the spot for Larry Allen. And you don't really see a lot of guys wearing 00 anymore. And by anyone, I mean like no one. Can you think of anyone who wears 00 in the NFL? Or has ever? Ricky Williams? Hook 'em horns? I might be in on Ricky Williams. Might be in. Herschel Walker, too. One of the best college running backs, if not the best college running back of all time. We don't really need more running backs, though. Prime Greg Olsen. These guys are all so old, though. I don't want to take Greg Olsen at 35 years old, even though this is his prime version. We could also take a guard to play a tackle. Let's take a guard who played tackle. Bruce Matthews. Oilers legend. He's going to be my starting left tackle, and we didn't have to spend a tackle pick on him. Man, defense kind of flew off the board, huh? Not ideal. Yeah, there are not a lot of... I don't think there are any legends left on defense at all. I don't even really know what we want to do here. Have I drafted a full offensive line? Let's see. We got our left tackle in Bruce Matthews. We got our center. We got our 2 guards. We don't have a right tackle. Is there anyone left on the offensive line? Any legends who played tackle that I can kind of like pass it off and not feel too bad about randomly moving a guard? Gene Upshaw was a beast. Especially in Madden 13, he was awesome. Back when I played Ultimate Team. I mean, I don't see any guards that play tackle. So we might just get creative and just throw Gene Upshaw. There's no way Gene Upshaw was 255 pounds. There's absolutely no way. I'm telling you, Larry Little was not 265. He's listed at 265. I mean, I guess that was a lot bigger like back then. He also played a little bit of tackle. I think that was early on in his career, though, because with the Dolphins, he was like only a guard. Yeah, I guess Gene Upshaw was 255, too. I mean, these guys have played in the 60s, 70s, 80s. You'd think they would have been a bit bigger, and I'm sure they were. Like, I'm looking at Gene Upshaw. He looks bigger than 255, but I guess you don't know. We'll take Larry Little. We'll play him at right tackle. 6'1", 265. Doesn't exactly profile as one. What else can we take? Builded monster backfield. Franco Harris is not a blocking back. Neither is Mike Allstott, to be fair. Let's go Mike Allstott. Get basically a big running back to play fullback. What are his numbers? 99 trucking, that's a given. 99 break tackle, that's a given. What did they give his speed? Am I missing it? 86. Pretty good, pretty good. Yetur Matos is going. With guys like Warwick Dunn still on the board. Fred Taylor, another really underrated player. Herschel Walker, we talked about a little bit. Could go with another great running back. Let's go with someone who just doesn't get enough love. Fred Taylor. He was one of those guys on those Jacksonville Jaguars teams that just won't ever be talked about, really. Like Jimmy Smith to Keenan McCardell. Like, there were some really good players on those Jags teams. Like John Henderson, we saw a little bit earlier. I know we're getting a little bit later as I'm going on there. Like, Rashawn Mathis in his prime was awesome. Any other legend receivers still available? Dante Hall? Devin Hester? I mean, we're taking 2 return guys here, maybe. I guess we'll take Dante Hall. Maybe consider Devin Hester. But I think for the sake of not being here all day and just, like, saying, oh, man, look at that legend who's, like, barely a legend. We're going to simulate the draft and see what the CPU builds out for the rest of our team. So we have a 90 overall team. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty good. Don't know how this team would fare for the future. The normal development looks disgusting. I won't lie to you there. Titus Howard, the CPU drafted. Jared Cook. So we do have some star development out here. Deontay Harris. Classic special teamer superstar development. That's fun. I like how his college is assumption. Like, a good assumption would be that a special teamer shouldn't have superstar development. You'd assume they wouldn't, but no, he does. Okay, so our defense kind of sucks, actually. We got Cody Barton, Bobby Okereke. That's not that great. We're in a 3-4, which works well with Lawrence Taylor at outside linebacker. Our defensive line outside of Mean Joe Green sucks. Henry Anderson, Tyrone Crawford. Not good. Deion Sanders, though, and, of course, Sidney Jones. What a memorable pairing they're going to make for. Sean Taylor's nice. Jack Tatum's nice. Tremaine Johnson, love his contract. Holden Hill. Hook'em Horns, Texas legend. Sam Martin and Jacob Myers in there. So our kicking is good. 99 offense, 88 defense. It's not too bad. Let's see what some other teams are working with. Jags have Michael Thomas. Michael Strahan, though. Tim Brown. So they don't really have a ton of legends. Jets have Peyton Manning, Ed Reed. New York Jet legend Ed Reed, Ozzie Newsome, Emmitt Smith, Chad Johnson. So they went with the legend approach. Rodney Harrison, Joe Namath. So Joe Namath back on the Jets, not their main QB. Lions have Troy Polamalu, DeAndre Hopkins, Zach Martin, Willie Brown, Drew Brees, their quarterback, David Bakhtiari, DeMarcus Ware, Julio, Dante Hightower. Packers, Travis Kelce, Harrison Smith, Terrell Suggs. So they didn't really do too well in the draft, if I'm being honest. Panthers, Tom Brady. They got a lot of 99s. Jonathan Ogden, Bo Jackson, Chandler Jones, Jalen Ramsey, Brandon Brooks, Keyshawn. Patriots have Big Vince, Ray Nitschke, Larry Fitzgerald, Anquan Bolden. The Bus, Tony Romo, Jordan Gross, Tre'Davious White, Fred Warner. Raiders, Deacon Jones, John Randall, John Elway, Patrick Surtain. Not to be confused with Patrick Surtain II at Alabama. This one is the guy that played for the Miami Dolphins in the 2000s. Was not as good as a 93 overall. Chuck Bednarik, Nick Chubb. The Rams have John Hanna, Joe Thomas, Chris Johnson, Chris Gamble. I forgot all about Chris Gamble. He was sick on the Panthers for a while. I don't know why I remember him as a safety. Did he move back to safety near the end of his career? No, I guess not. Who was the other, who was the big safety that Carolina had in, like, the mid-2000s, like 2008? I don't think Charles Godfrey is who I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Ty Law is on this team. For the Ravens, Steve Atwater, Larry Wilson. What a safety combo they have. Khalil Mack. The sack attack now for the purple and black. Good for him. Derrick Henry, Lance Allworth. Football team has Mel Renfro, Eddie George, Jason Taylor, Teron Armstead, Torrey Holt, Stephon Diggs, Rondé Barber is now on football team. Saints have Joe Montana, J.J. Watt, Brian Dawkins, Jack Ham, Mel Blunt, Bob Lilly, Clinton Portis, John Runyon, 94 overall. He was actually real solid. What for those football teams? That sounds so funny to say. And then it was Eagles, right? Yeah, he was a menace on the Eagles for a while. Herman Moore. Let's see, Seahawks. They've got Randy Moss, Willie Lanier, Randall McDaniel on his actual team. That's interesting. Love to see that. Franco Harris, Mike Vick, Reggie Wayne, Warren Sapp, Zeke, Darnell Dockett. I think he was on the Seahawks for a minute too, right? Seahawks have Randy Moss, Willie Lanier, Randall McDaniel, Franco Harris, Michael Vick, Reggie Wayne. This is going to be a high-powered team. Warren Sapp. Steelers, Champ Bailey, The Fridge, Ken Houston, Quentin Nelson, Willie McGinnis, Lamar Jackson, Josh Jacobs, Trent Brown. They've got a lot of younger players. Texans, Anthony Munoz takes the approach that the Texans should have taken early on when they started with just drafting offensive line instead of just getting a quarterback at number one and throwing him to the Wolves. Got Gene Upshaw as well, Cam Jordan, Curtis Martin, Kurt Warner, Charles Haley, Alan Page, work done, Myles Garrett. Titans with Ray Lewis, Luke Kuechly. What a linebacking core. Walter Jones, Russell Martin. Why did I say Russell Martin? The catcher? No, Russell Wilson, Sterling Sharp, Ed Too Tall Jones, Shady, Aaron Jones. Vikings with Jerry Rice, Dave Casper, Darrell Green, one of the fastest players in NFL history. A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers is now in the Vikings. That looks so weird. Devontae Adams too. Just rebuild the The Viking. Did I see Elsie Greenwood on this team? Former school teacher? Yeah, you can look that up. Let's just see, like, the main. We'll see what teams have who. Or actually, no, we'll go through it the way we have been. Patrick Mahomes, Barry Sanders. Oh, my goodness. What a backfield. Cam Chancellor, Dan Deerdorf, Rodney Hudson, Kevin Byard. The Bengals have Derek Brooks, Rod Woodson, Howie Long, Eric Dickerson, Eli, V-Jax, Tony Baselli, Randy White, Harold Carmichael. Bills with AB, Orlando Pace, Tony Gonzalez, Jim Brown. They've got a lot of legends, too. Darrell Revis. Why did I say Darrell? Darrell Revis, Terry Bradshaw, Chris Carter, John Henderson. Broncos have Reggie White. There he is, the Minister of Defense. Rob Gronkowski, Eric Allen, Terrell Davis. TD on the Broncos. That's cool. Randall Cunningham, Ricky Jackson, Mike Evans, Steve Largent. For the Browns have Stephon Gilmore, Kevin Mawai, Teddy Bruschi, Marvin Harrison, Bill Romanowski. Marvin Harrison, fun fact, is like maybe a murderer. I guess it's maybe not so fun fact. Odell back in the Browns. The Bucks have Dan Marino, T.O., and Steve Smith. Look at this offense. And they also have Herschel Walker and Saquon. Joey Porter, too. That's interesting. Cardinals have Jack Lambert, Calais Campbell. He was a beast on the Cardinals for the start of his career. The Edge, Matt Burke, Jamal Adams, Darius Slay, Cam Newton. Chargers with Ronnie Lott, George Kittle, Junior Seau back on the Chargers. Steve Hutchinson, Marshawn Lynch, Michael Irvin, the Cocaine Cowboy, Mitchell Schwartz, Prime Sue, Dante Culpepper, Marlon Humphrey. Chiefs rocking with Christian McCaffrey, Willie Roaf, Dallas Clark, Joe Horn, Warren Moon on that team as well. I want to say that Warren Moon was on the Chiefs for a minute, like a very brief stay, but I'm not sure. Yeah, 1999 and 2000. He was on the Chiefs at the very end of his career. Aaron Donald, Patrick Willis, Adam Vinatieri back on the Colts. Donnie Shell, Steelers legend Dwight Freeney back on the Colts. Kenny Clark, Donovan McNabb, Cowboys with the Dick Lane. We saw LaDainian Tomlinson, Isaac Bruce already. Tyreek Hill we saw get drafted. Troy Aikman back on the Cowboys. The Dolphins with Paul Krause, Walter Payton, Hines Ward, Phillip Rivers in his prime, Joey Bosa, George Blanda, kicker / QB. Antonio Cromartie back. Did they know that George Blanda was also a kicker? They probably did. But let's see what his kick power is. Don't let me down here. I miss it? Oh, there it is. No, they knew. They knew. Good on them. Good on them. And we have a few more teams left. The Eagles, Shannon Sharp, Julius Peppers, Bobby Wagner, Brian Westbrook back in the Eagles, Freddie Biletnikoff, Johnny U, Art Monk, Jair Alexander. 49ers are next, but we got the Falcons first with Calvin Johnson bringing him back to the state of Georgia. Mike Singletary, Marshall Faulk, Richard Sherman, Ronnie Stanley, Andre Reed. Andre Rison, Falcons legend, would be a cool one to have. And then last but not least, we got the 49ers with Charles Woodson, Steve Young back on the 49ers, Eric Williams, Troy Vincent, Derek Thomas, another rest in peace, he was amazing, Jesse Tuggle, who was actually the father of Grady Jarrett, by the way. Falcons defensive tackle, if you guys didn't know. Random connection there. He was a beast on the Falcons, too. Amon Green, who is a super nice guy. Dalvin Cook. And, of course, you guys have seen our Giants team, which is chock full of 99s. So let's go ahead and see how this team would perform in a season. Simulating to the playoffs, you'd have to assume that this is a playoff team. Might be a good assumption with, what is it? Deontay Thompson on our team. Is that who it is? How many upgrade points do we have? I call him Deontay Thompson, the safety. No, this is Deontay Harris. I'm wild right now. But, yeah, we got some upgrade points here. I feel like I've misspoken a few times in this video, which is out of character. A little bit frustrating. But we will go ahead and see how the team perform. We got Trayvon Diggs on this team. That's fun. He was a beast at Alabama. It'll be interesting to see how his career goes in the NFL. Although we did not win the division. That went to the Eagles. Brett Favre was not that good. Well, I mean, those aren't terrible numbers. We had the first defense in terms of yards. Our offense really didn't do a whole lot. Well, 5th in points scored. I don't know, man. Seems like we only have one receiver. Defense was awesome. Brett Favre, I mean, decent year for him. Adrian Peterson was awesome. I just looked at like where they ranked in the rest of the league, and they weren't that crazy. But 1,200 yards, averaging 5.7 per carry with 13 TDs, a solid year. Receiving, Andre Johnson. Oh, because we had John Ross in the slot, dude. That's what it is. Oh, this playbook sucks. Andre Johnson had 10 touchdowns, but John Ross, because he played in the slot, got the most targets on the team, probably, even though he only had 57 catches. Dante Hall with a ton. Defensively, Keith Bullock had a great year. LT had a monster year, though. 19 sacks, 15 for Mean Joe. Interceptions, 2 for Cody Barton, 2 for Sean Taylor, 2 for Jack Tatum. Neon Deion had 1 pick. How is that so? 99 man, 99 zone, 99 play rec, 99 awareness. Deion Sanders, 90 catching, gets 1 interception. You're kidding me, Deion. That's just sim for you. Sean Taylor with a touchdown there for you. Johnny Unitas won MVP of the 12-4 Eagles. Dan Marino in there with the Bucks. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Johnny Unitas. No Giants. Defensive Player of the Year, Warren Sapp. Lawrence Taylor with 19 sacks gets no consideration. Damn, 3 Seahawks in there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Johnny Unitas. These are all going to be like legends. And then Warren Sapp is your Defensive Rookie of the Year. We have made the playoffs. This could end up being a Super Bowl caliber team. We will have to see. Not going to bother jumping in, but can we beat the Saints and advance to the divisional? Yes, 31-21. And now the Falcons stand in our way. We had a CPU upgrade on, but the Falcons are in our way. Can we knock them off? Advance to the conference championship. The Dirty Birds are going home. We win 42-28, and now the Panthers in the conference championship. Did we draft a Super Bowl winning team here? Answer is yes, and it's a Super Bowl rematch. Giants, Patriots. The Giants won in 2007. The Giants won in 2011. And now, in 2020, the two teams face off again. Who's going to come out on top? The 94 overall Giants or the 90 overall Patriots? Be a fun question to answer. That's up next. The rain is coming down here. This should be what, Tampa Bay? Raymond James Stadium? It is, yes. I see Tampa Bay. Lived in Tampa for a while. Went to college at the University of Tampa for a minute. As that is irrelevant to the video, but thought maybe you want to know. Yet asked that question a lot. But it is 10-10 right now. 13-10 Patriots. We go back on top, 17-13. Make it 24-13 as we approach the end of the third quarter. And we are starting to pour it on just like the rain. But the Patriots not going down without a fight. Too bad, it doesn't matter. Shout out JoJo. Too little, too late. The Giants are Super Bowl champions. 41-27 is your final. And without playing in a game, without forcing a win, without doing anything, just simulating the whole season, I drafted a Super Bowl winning team with only legends. Love to see it. Love to see it. So that video says success. There you go. Hit that subscribe button if you like Super Bowl victories and the same celebration for the last 4 or 5 years. That's always fun. But I guess that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That is what would happen if the NFL were to restart with a fantasy draft using only legends. Well, all legends, I should say. Or just legends in general. I don't know how I want to phrase that yet. I'll figure it out by the time this video comes out. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
We'll fake it.